I'm Andrea Goldsmith and I'm a local author, and here are 3 minutes from my home. Way back in 1980, I found myself trapped in a trailer park in Daly City outside San Francisco. This is a bleak and hostile place at the best of times, but having just been dumped and deserted by my beloved, it was a hell to try the imagination of a Dante. I was miserable and distraught and filled with the sort of catastrophic hopelessness typical of a recently dumped girl in her 20s. I had a return air ticket to Australia for travel 4 weeks hence. It was non-changeable and non-refundable. I was trapped in a trailer park in Daly City. My heart was extremely demanding of attention, as broken hearts generally are, but even more pressing was my lack of money. I spent one of my precious dollars on the bus fare into town. It didn't take long to find a pawnbroker. I offered him 2 rings that had cost me over $100 for the pair. Even if I received $70 for them, that would be sufficient for the month. It was a long time ago, and life was a lot cheaper then. The pawnbroker offered me a measly $20. I kept my rings. Back in the trailer park, bereft, vulnerable, and penniless, I doubted my ability to make it to the end of the month. I was scared, really scared, and my mind refused to focus on anything other than my fear and misery. It was in this state I reached for the complete works of Jane Austen. It was a fat, hardcover volume containing all of Jane's 6 major novels, a modern library edition that had cost me $7.95. It was late one afternoon when I began to read. I remember that quite clearly, but I remember little else of the weeks that followed. Previously, I'd only read Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. Now, I read one Jane Austen novel after another. 4 weeks later, when I boarded the plane to Australia, my heart was still in tatters and I was a good deal thinner, but I felt relatively calm and my mind was stirring with ideas and characters for a novel of my own. These are difficult times. Our lives have been upended. The pressures of life we're facing take up a lot of headspace. The free-ranging imagination also takes up a lot of space, which explains why, when the imagination is working at full throttle, as it does when reading a good novel, the strains and stresses of daily life are subdued. Jane Austen reaches out in all times and to all ages, and these days there are some excellent films to complement the reading. Jane saved my life all those years ago, and now, in this pandemic, I plunge into her familiar pages, into gripping lives not my own, and for hours at a time, I forget the coronavirus. Try it. You won't regret it. And stay safe and well. Bye.